Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly pick a card reading for Monday the 1st to Sunday the 7th of May. Gosh, it's hard to believe we're almost halfway through the year, or certainly getting there. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for returning. If you come back to my videos often, and if you're new here, thank you so much. Welcome my friends. Okay everyone, we have pole number 1, pole number 2, pole number 3 and pole number 4. Now decided to use the shells again that I've collected off the beach. Now I'm not sure that the camera is picking up on that, but that is pink. It's like a real baby pink. It looks probably a bit corally on the, but it's like a true pink. It's a little bit broken, but the color of it just, I just had to pick it up. I love shells. I love natural things. And we've got this one here, which is orange. Now, I'm not sure what kind of shell these are, but I think it's the lining of like a clam or an oyster, or one of these kind of shells that comes in two halves. I think that's like the mother of pearl, the lining on the inside of it. That's really, really orange. It's beautiful. And we have a more yellow, very pearl. And then the final one, we have the little shell. There you go, my friends. So select a pile that you feel drawn to. If it's more than one pile, select as many piles as you feel that you're called to. Select by pile number, by the shell, by just intuition, one that just, you might just find yourself, you keep looking at a pile or you keep looking at a shell. That's a good way to allow your intuition to guide you. Let's get started. Hello, pole number 1. Welcome to your weekly reading for this first week of May already. So we have challenges. We have contentment. That's together. I like this for you, pole number 1. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the Star. We have the 8 of Pentacles. We have be kind to yourself and everyone you meet today, big or small, human or animal. And we have magical happenings, favorable consequences. And I really feel that in your reading this week, pole number 1, I feel there's a move from, or let's say a move towards contentment, more peace, calmer emotions, calmer waters. There's a sense here of tranquility. I'm feeling really calm. Actually, it was very interesting because while I was shuffling and doing the 4 piles, and I felt a sense of calm. I didn't sleep very well last night, and so I was a bit tired this morning, and I was definitely drawn to do the reading, but I probably was lacking energy a little bit. And as I was shuffling, I just felt this calm, and almost like I can talk slowly, I can take my time, I can be calm. And I said to Spirit, oh, are they going to be the energies for this week? And I feel pole number one, that we all need this calmer, quieter energy after all the energy from Aries, those both new moons, you know, in Aries, and it was Aries season, and there was so many planets in Aries. It was a real fire charged energy, and I must say it's left me a little bit depleted. And so I'm not sure how you've fared. Interestingly enough, pole number one, I'm an Aries sun with a rising Leo and an ascendant, or with a rising ascendant Cancer, and my moon is in Leo. So fire energy generally works quite well for me, but March and April sort of kicked my butt a little bit. And I'm feeling with you, my dear friends, I feel that maybe you've felt the same. The card says, unbearable situations throw you directly into God's arms if you are open. Please take over, Divine, and guide the right actions. Please take this burden and show me your will. I'm not often drawn to talk about myself in my readings, and I actually don't like to. But Spirit here is really pushing me. So I wonder, my friends, pole number one, if we've walked a similar last couple of months, or maybe even the last 6 months. I had a decision to make that I really wasn't sure of. And a decision, I won't go into it now, but a decision that would lead me on 2 different paths. And I couldn't decide. And in the end, I just gave it to the universe. I just gave it to Spirit. And I said, you know, I don't know which way you're guiding me. I feel one moment I was sort of being guided in one direction, and then another moment I was guided in another. And what came out of the situation, because I have since made the decision, but what came out of it was neither path was wrong. So Spirit was not trying to guide me on one path or another. There would have been lessons and joy in each. It wanted me to look inside myself and really look at, what did I want? Putting aside other people, my own fears, really helped me make this decision. And pole number one, as soon as you make the decision, because I feel that this is why you're here, as soon as you make that decision, the weight that comes off your shoulders is unbelievable. The relief that you will feel is quite unbelievable. And I feel here it's almost like, give your worries to God, give your worries to the universe, to Spirit, to your higher self. And just ask yourself, if each situation was perfect, with no challenges, no fear, no doubts, no possible like no chance of you not succeeding. Thank you, Spirit. Which path would you choose? Which one calls you the most? Now, there is no guarantee on either path. There's no guarantee on any of the paths that we take. But we know that we can make it. We know that we'll always manage. And you've got contentment. You can learn to rest in what you already have and already are. Suddenly you remember, I am right here resting in God. Now, isn't that quite amazing how they link? Because it says unbearable situations throw you directly into God's arms if you are open. And this said, I'm right here resting in God. So pole number 1, this tells me that you do. You make the decision that is right for you, right where you are right now. And that's the best way we can make our choices. We can make our decisions. This is about being in the now. This is about knowing, yes, there's always more. There's always better. But oh, can I see the beauty of where I am right now? Because when you can, you're the star. You're the star of your journey. You're the star of your narrative. You're the star of your story. And the star is literally, in your reading pole number 1, I'm seeing the star as shining your light, your authentic self. So somewhere between the challenges, the choices, making that choice and finding rest and contentment and relief, your authentic self shines through. You are being guided by your higher self, by God, by the universe, always. But in this instant, it's like you've tapped into your inner energy, and you can make a choice purely on you, purely on the knowledge, the understanding, the wisdom that you have right now, of where you are right now. And I feel pole number 1 where you even want to go, where you are headed. It's like with the star, she's taking the water from the pond or the lake and she's watering the earth. So there's almost like it's this balancing, it's this nurturing, it's not lack on one side and too much on another. Your choices that you make for you, pole number 1, will benefit others. Or even if it doesn't benefit anybody else, trust that nobody will be hurt by this. They might. Spirit makes me laugh sometimes, and I can be in the most serious conversation and he'll put an image in my head that makes me laugh, which sometimes I feel really bad about. But in this instant, I just had an image of a crooked nose. come into my mind. And that's spirit telling me, okay, some people in your life, pole number 1, may get their nose bent out of joint. They might not like it. But trust me that down the track, they'll be glad. They'll see more clearly. Even if it doesn't alter their life at all, they'll see how and why you needed to make that decision. I feel like there's no, when you make your choice, pole number 1, there's no, I'm seeing like dark residue. So there's no lingering residue of your past that kind of sucks your energy or keeps you down or stops you from shining your light. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to make your choice. Our choices often impact others because, you know, we have family, we have friends, we have work colleagues, we have, you know, landlords or children, or, you know, we're surrounded by people. We're part of a community, whatever that looks like. And so, you know, something as simple as not renewing your lease on your rent, you know, that might annoy your landlord because now he has to go and find somebody else. But he might put the price up and then he'll think, oh, well, actually, you know, I found somebody straight away and now I'm getting more money. Oh, this was great. It's that kind of energy, pole number 1, that spirit is showing me. So it's almost like this win-win. Nobody will be, you know, people at first might be a little annoyed, but very quickly that will dissipate. And for some of you, that is really important to realize. So our overall energy, so the start of the reading and at the end, so bookmarking, not bookmarking, book holding, I'm not sure, is your overall energy. So your overall energy starts as be kind to yourself and everyone you meet today. And there's a little affirmation and it says, the people I meet are a reflection of my shining soul. Gosh, it's really beautiful when we see this in others. There's so much love that comes out of that. There's so much compassion as well. Suddenly we don't get annoyed at people's little irritations that they have or do, or they're just little things. We let them go. We don't let it bother us. We don't let it grate on our nerves. There's this sense as well, I feel, of slowing down, of being calmer. And it's interesting because I really got the feeling, just as I was saying that this card is with the challenges. And then this one here is with contentment. It says, magical happenings, favourable consequences. Today is luckier than yesterday. And there's a sense of joy and contentment and fun, adventure. Childlike wonder. And I feel, pole number 1, that this decision, you kind of have to sit with it for a little bit, Be calm. Just go slowly. Be kind. And not just to everybody that you meet today, but to yourself as well. When we're trying to make a decision, oh my goodness, do we beat ourselves up? We and we are, and we get annoyed at ourselves, and why can't we just figure this out? Why am I making this so hard? It's not that hard. What's wrong with me? Why can't I make a decision? You know, that's just a few things that popped in at the top of my head. I'm sure you can think of 1,000 more. But there's this kindness that comes in. Gentleness, nurturing. I love how the animals are nesting in his hair and his beard. And there's a sense of being in touch pole number 1 with what is around you, what surrounds you. Feeling connected, but still being you. Trusting yourself. Just being in the now. I think being in the now is so, so important, because you'll make the decision. And the card says magical happenings, favourable consequences. It really doesn't matter which one you choose, pole number 1. I just really, really feel that both lead to contentment in different ways. Both will have their challenges, but in different ways. And be guided by the one that feels the most magical to you. That feels the most, oh, wow, can I do that? Maybe even, my friends, the one on paper that has the most challenges, or that it might not have the most challenges, but maybe it has a big challenge that you'd need to overcome. Don't allow the challenges that you see in either choice to guide you. There's this childlike wonder with this card. And there's this almost like, I'm wondering if there's a path that you can kind of see how it would go. And then there's a path that you kind of really don't have any idea. Both have potential though, my friends. Both have it. And then your tarot kind of really ties that all together. We have the Queen of Cups. And the queens are the energy of receiving. They're the feminine energy. They receive. They are open to guidance, to abundance, resources, people, opportunities. They're open to what comes to them. Now the Queen of Cups is about fulfillment. It's about emotions and feelings. And this Queen of Cups is open to receiving what she needs in order to be fulfilled. And the Queen of Cups, you know, she's ruled by her emotions. She's ruled by her feelings. She understands the difference between the two. She doesn't allow them to swamp her emotions. She doesn't allow herself to fall into them and get lost in them, to drown in them. But she allows herself to look at them. She goes down and she goes through them. And her feelings guide her through those emotions. Our emotions are triggered by the outside world or by what we imagine. Feelings are more our intuition. They're just that gut feeling, or the feeling you get in your heart that makes you go, I'm not going to do that, or I'm going to take the chance and do that. And the Queen of Cups is here, my friends, because she's the one, this is the energy that you need in order to make your decision. The Star being in the middle, I just really feel that it really doesn't matter which one you choose. They'll be different, but I'm really feeling that Spirit's telling me there's not one worse than the other. There's not one that's the wrong way or one that you'll regret, or they're just different. They'll just be different journeys. And I'm really getting that because I'm really drawn to the water on the land and the water in the, it's almost like you're going to get a bit of everything in everything. Well, you're going to get thank you, Spirit. You're going to get a little bit of everything in either choice. So I was just kind of thinking to myself, well, okay then, if they're both the same outcome, why, what's the choice there for in the first place? Like sometimes I question Spirit as I'm talking. And I kind of feel like, okay, well, if the path is kind of the same, if one path is not wrong, and you know what I mean by wrong, I don't mean it's ever wrong, it just might have more lessons on it. There's generally a path that brings us, how can I explain this? There's a path that's more authentically aligned with us. And that's the difference between these paths. Thank you, Spirit. That's why you need to choose. None of them are wrong. Neither of them will be bad. It's just that one is more aligned with you and your authentic self. And I feel that you will feel that pole number one, because it will resonate deep inside of you, and it will kind of make you feel like you've got to peel back the layers and be more open. Maybe you're going at something alone. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. And I love finishing on this card for your pole number one, because the Eight of Pentacles is kind of head down, bottom up, and diligently doing your work. And it leads to success. And I feel that this path is opening up opportunities for you. And I feel that this Pentacle card is really, it talks about work. It talks about your career. It talks about what you do for a living. And if you no longer need to work, if you're retired or on a sabbatical or things like that, this talks about a passion or a hobby that you really love. And I feel this path is opening that up. So for some of you, it's a hobby that turns into an ability to make extra money. And this could lead you to the people that can help you grow your business. It can lead you to people that then lead to a job offer, or it's something like that. So the Eight of Pentacles signifies work. There's work ahead of you, pole number one. But the Eight of Pentacles does it gladly because it's something that they love. It's something that they feel good about. It's still work. It still takes effort. But there's a sense of contentment in it. And that's what this path is leading you to. Contentment in your work-home life. Contentment in your finances. Contentment in your work-life balance. Contentment in now doing something that you love. You not just doing this for the money, you're actually doing it because you enjoy it. It's a beautiful path. And there will be work in front of you, but I feel like you're going to be okay with that. I feel like you're just going to be okay with it. So pole number 1, just take your time, relax, get quiet, bring yourself into the now, let go of the future projections, and that you'll make the decision. Make it based on you, your true authentic self, not on your fears or your doubts. And there's an element of fun, there's an element of magic in this, and trust. I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love and light, pole number 1, sending you so many blessings. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 2. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. We have perfectionism. We have feelings. We have the 3 of Swords, the 10 of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. We have pollinating abundance. Love that. And we have higher learning and spiritual inquiries. Beautiful. So your overall energy, the bookends for this reading, is pollinating abundance and higher learning and spiritual inquiries. The affirmation is, I am grateful for my bounty. And I love, she's holding a bee. She's got flowers and she's holding a bee. And got a beehive on her head as well. I'm looking at this perfectionism card. There's a sense, pole number 2, that pollinating abundance takes gratitude, and it takes the ability to be able to see, acknowledge, accept, and love what is in your life right now. And I'm feeling that Spirit is guiding you to look at how much you might be looking at your life at the moment and possibly picking it apart, picking at all the things that are not right with it and forgetting to look at all the beauty that's in it. There's a change of perception that is needed here, because you're pollinating abundance, and that means you're growing, you're creating abundance. Now, I really feel abundance flows with joy, openness. And when we're trying to be perfect, we're not open, because automatically when we want things to be perfect, it's because we fear judgment. So Spirit's telling me that when we fear judgment, when we fear we're going to be judged, even when we judge ourselves, when we're in that energy, our need to make everything perfect grows, because in order to not be criticized or to not be judged, we feel it has to be perfect. If everything is perfect, then if we are judged, it would be favorably, and we certainly won't be criticized. We'll probably be I can't think of the word, but we'll probably be congratulated, or I don't know why I can't think of a word. Spirit, can you help me, please? We'll get the accolades from people that we're searching for. And that's interesting, Spirit. Thank you. So in our perfectionism, we are searching for appraisal, approval. But you're pollinating abundance, my friends. You don't need approval. You don't need other people to see the benefit or the worth or the love in what you do. You need to see that. I'm going to go to the perfectionism card. Permission to make mistakes is so freeing. It's the root of creativity and change. Allow me, Divine, to make as many mistakes as I need. Free me from the prison of perfectionism. You know, we can look at a beautifully manicured garden and see the beauty in it. But we can go to a field of wildflowers and still see beauty in it. This abundance that you're creating, the need to have it all figured out, the need to not make mistakes, the need for it to be perfect, and the need for it to be perfect first go. Because I'm feeling an energy of I'm not going to give it a go because I don't think I've got it quite figured out. I'm going to make mistakes. Look, my friends, how many times have I got tongue-tied on my videos? How many times can I not find my word, and then when I find it, I can't say it? It doesn't matter. You know, it does if you allow it. I mean, I could sit here and think, oh my gosh, everyone listening is going to think I'm so uneducated. I can't talk properly. I don't know my words. Sometimes I can feel your energy where you're saying the word for me. And I'm thinking, oh, Spirit, can you bring that energy to me so the word pops into my head? But I don't let it stop me. I don't let it be a way that I judge myself. There's a naturalness in our mistakes, in our trip-ups, in our inadequacies even. There's a beauty in them, because there's a vulnerability. It makes us very human, very real, approachable. When we strive to be perfect, and we've all been there. I'm not sitting back here saying, oh, I've never wanted to be perfect. Oh my goodness, it plagued me for years and years and years. I can say there's a lot of things that I never ever did because I thought, oh, I'm going to mess that up, I'm not doing it. But there's a beauty in our mistakes. When we make mistakes, when we make a bit of a mess of things, when we don't strive to be perfect, we're being natural. We're being free. We're not being rigid and blocked. And my friends, people are drawn to that. People are drawn to vulnerability in others, not to take advantage. Of course, yes, some people might be, but you'll be open enough and aware enough to see that. You just sidestep them. It's not a problem. But you would attract people because there's an authenticity, and people are drawn to that, my friends. The other overall energy is higher learning and spiritual inquiries. And the affirmation is, my ancestors walk beside me. I am loved and supported. Always. We are so loved. We are love itself. I was just going to say we are so capable of love, and then Spirit's just like taking the words right out of my mouth. It's like, no, we are love. We are love. And I feel this love is what is coming to you. I feel this Three of Swords is probably past disappointments, past painful experiences, past relationships, jobs, situations that hurt us. But I also feel, and probably in a bigger sense, I feel this Three of Swords in your reading pole number 2 is how you feel you've let yourself down in the past, how you feel you've messed up, how you feel blocked because your narrative now is one of, I'm useless, I'm dumb, I always make mistakes, I always choose the wrong thing, nothing ever works out. You got the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is the card of complete fulfillment, whatever that means for you. And I feel that's what you're pollinating. You're pollinating abundance, you're pollinating fulfillment. And I feel that Spirit's coming in to say there's a higher learning. There's embracing a different way of looking at things, a different way of being, a different way of seeing the world and yourself. It's tapping into your spiritual side, your inner guidance, your inner light, your authentic self. Spirit, God, the universe. I feel this card is calling you to reconnect with the real you, not this made up perfection. It's a facade. Now, does not mean that you never brush your hair again, you never shower again, you'll walk out in your pajamas. Hey, if that's your thing, do it, comfy as. But you know what I mean. It doesn't mean going from one extreme to another. It means finding the area or the middle ground, but not between the two. The middle ground that you feel most comfortable in. Not because you've developed habits, but because of who you are authentically. That's beautiful, Spirit. Thank you. So your happy place, your happy medium, your authentic self does not come from the habits that you have created for yourself. It comes from a place where you feel most like yourself, most natural. And natural for one person can mean a full face of makeup. Natural for another person means no makeup at all. And either or can be a statement of more, this is who I am. And not in a sense of authenticity, but in a sense of, well, I don't wear makeup because I'm natural and so it's almost like sometimes we use those as a judgment on others. And this is not about that. This is quite interesting where this is going, actually. I'm just saying to Spirit, oh, where are you guiding us? And I feel that Spirit's guiding me to talk about makeup and the way we look. And I feel that that's because this perfectionism doesn't come from the inside, the spiritual you, the light, authentic you. It comes from how you perceive yourself in the outside world, or how you would like others to perceive you in the outside world, how you fit in with those around you. And that's what Spirit wants to bring to your attention. And this can be male or female. It really doesn't matter. It's the facade that we put, that we feel that we need. That's this perfectionism. And we've got feelings. And the card says, emotions want to be felt. You really can't surrender something until you deeply feel it. Allow me, dear Divine, to offer all emotions to you, feeling them fully so they no longer hold me captive. Our emotions come from the outside world and from our thoughts. Our feelings come from deep within us. So our feelings are connected with our soul, and our emotions are connected with the physical 3D world, including our mind. So things that are of this lifetime, if you like. So your mind can tell you things that make you emotional. Outside experiences will make you emotional. And the important is the feelings behind those. So we don't push our emotions down or away. We don't ignore them. we acknowledge them, and then we try to feel them for what they are. They're a link to an outside trigger or to a thought pattern that does not serve us. Thank you, Spirit. That's beautiful. Our emotions are linked to an outside trigger or a thought pattern that does not serve us. Your feelings will guide you to see that. Your feelings will guide you to go, right, I'm feeling really emotional. I want to cry because that person was so mean to me. Your feelings will guide you as to the deeper reason why you've allowed that person to impact you so much. I feel pole number 2, there's a little bit here of self-worth. Because where you're headed is really like you're pollinating abundance, and you've got the 10 of Cups. That's amazing. And I feel that Spirit is guiding us in this reading with this 10 of Cups. It's the middle card. I feel that this is where you are now. And I can hear you going, what? No way. If you allow yourself the mistakes, if you give yourself permission to make mistakes, if you allow yourself to be free, if you embrace everything as a creative process, some will succeed, some will fail. If you embrace, it's not just your spirituality or your higher learning, but I feel if you embrace the all that is, the miracles of life, embracing the now. Being in the now is quite a spiritual process. It quietens your mind. It stops it from going from to the past or to the future. That immediately has an effect on your body. And I feel this fulfillment. It's almost like, can you see all the wonder that you have now? Can you maybe stop looking at the ways that you're not perfect and look at all the ways that you are? And perfect, warts and all. Perfect when you stumble. Perfect when you get your words twisted. Perfect when you wake up in the morning and you've got bad breath and a bad hairdo. I was going to say there's joy in that, but there's a better word. There's life in that. There's a sense of just being. Now you end the reading with the Ace of Wands. And I find this Ace of Wands really interesting, because the Ace is a gift from the universe. A gift from it's in the Minor Arcana, so it's what you do to co-create with Spirit. The ace is a gift from Spirit that you need to do something with. The wands is your calling, your purpose, your natural gifts and talents. It's your passions. It's what drives you. It's what makes you bounce out of bed like in the mornings, because you just can't wait to do this thing. And there's something I feel about allowing yourself to just be you, to stop almost like digging these swords into yourself every time you, and that's figuratively speaking, but taking these digs at yourself every time you make a mistake, or you feel you failed, or somebody's got a comment to make that's not maybe that kind. That denotes, Spirit's telling me that when somebody has a bad comment to make, that is not, sometimes a negative comment is constructive and it will actually help you. Could that person have found a better way of saying it? Possibly. But that's not the point. But when people say things just to hurt, that's on them. That's not on you. That's more about them and where they are in their life, not about you. Let them be. Show them kindness, because to be that, you yourself have to be in a bad place. In order to say unkind things to another, you must be in a place of lack of love, lack of kindness, lack of compassion. That's not a nice place to be. Again, we've all been there. So let that person be. Let it go. It doesn't impact you because you know who you are. It's a bit like water off a duck's back. And I feel Spirit is trying to get you to this energy, get you to this understanding, because I feel without it, the path ahead is going to be more difficult, definitely more emotional. You'll still be fueled. You will still do it. You'll still feel the call and the push and the pull to do it. But it'll be more difficult, and Spirit doesn't want it to be difficult. It wants you to be in a place of joy and to just cultivate abundance, just pollinating abundance. You're creating something, pole number 2. And when we create something, we're opening ourselves up to judgment. We're opening ourselves up to criticism. We're opening ourselves up to making mistakes and not getting it right, and changing and growing and evolving. But there's something quite beautiful about that as well. Just be you. Just be you, the real, authentic you, my beautiful, beautiful friends. Just be you. I'm going to leave you with those messages, pole number 2, sending you lots of love, light, and blessings. Have a wonderful week. Take care of you. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 3. Welcome to your weekly pick a card reading. Isn't that looking really pretty? I think you can actually see a bit more of the pink now next to this orange. It's so pretty. So we have for you, my friends, solitude. We have calmness. We have the Magician. We have the Ace of Swords and we have the Empress. Oh, that's beautiful. We have plant now, thrive always. Oh, I love this with the Empress. And we have regeneration, new growth and strength. That's interesting with a lot of planting analogies, isn't it? A lot of abundance coming your way. I actually said when I started pole number 1, I had a feeling, I'm a bit tired today. And when I sat down and I was shuffling, I felt the energies were calm and gentle, and I thought, oh, that feels good actually. And your reading is definitely like that. Actually, that's interesting. I didn't mean to pick up the Solitude card. I meant to start with the overall energy, but Spirit got me talking so that I didn't think. So Spirit would like to start with Solitude. The card says, once you embrace the inner divine and your own sacred solitude, the right people arrive at the right time, exactly on schedule, without forcing or chasing. I actually really love this card. Not so much the word solitude, but what it says. Once you embrace the inner divine and your own sacred solitude, the right people arrive at the right time and exactly on schedule, without forcing or chasing. I feel with this plant now, thrive always, there's this sense, and the magician is here, there's this sense of creating. I don't think we realize the importance of not just filling our life with people and things just so that we are not alone. When we fill our life with whatever's there, it doesn't allow for the things that are meant to be there to come in. I'm just getting with this gardening kind of image. I love gardening, and so I'm getting a gardener going out and kind of tending to his soil, making space in his garden bed, or maybe he's or she, I'm just going to say he, but it can female or male, please don't get caught up on that. And he goes out, he might actually be creating a new little plot, a new garden bed. But there's this sense of, in order to plant, you need to make space. So what is filling your life, pole number 3? That is just filling space. It's not there because you love it. It's not there because it nurtures you. It's just there to fill a gap. Now, my friends, this can be people, social groups, actual things in our life that we've collected over time. It can even be thoughts. But I feel like Spirit's saying there's something in your life, pole number 3, that is taking up space. And there's this sense, this solitude is making space creating space around you. Because I feel it's all about attracting something that's more aligned with you. I'm seeing this Ace of Swords as being very aligned, very exact, very true, very clear cut. So we start with the overall energy. So we've got the overall energy sort of at bookends of the reading. So it shows me how the energy is likely to move through the reading, or maybe in sorting this out, this will happen, or how the energies will flow or work together. So we'll see how it works out. But here we have plant now, thrive always. I nourish, care for, and love my future self. Now, isn't that a beautiful way of thinking? Do you ever thank your old self for getting you to where you are now? Doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. Doesn't matter if it's great or not. Every stage of ourself brings us new awareness, new growth. Yes, we can look back at situations in our life and go, oh, well, if I'd known what I know now, I would never have done that. And there might be a tendency to therefore judge your old self. But know that your old self did the best it could with the knowledge that it had at the time. And if you have more knowledge now, then it helped you, didn't it? You might not like where you are, but do you have greater understanding? Yes. Bless your old self. Be grateful for all the steps through fear and uncertainty that your old self took to keep going, to keep moving forward. And I feel that there's a sense that your future self is doing that for you now. If you start doing that to your past self, that means, and you keep doing that throughout your life, that means your future self is doing that for you. Now there's a level of guidance and strength in that you would not believe. When we are grateful for the steps that we previously took, with the knowledge that we have, gosh, it changes everything. We view ourselves with very, very different eyes. And suddenly you think, okay, I'm not in a good place. I did the very best I could with the knowledge that I had. And I've come here, but I've got more knowledge now, so I'm going to strive so that the future me has more love, comfort, security, joy, contentment, calmness. Can you imagine if you make your decisions out of that, not out of fear, not out of, oh my gosh, if I make the wrong choice. You keep making your choices and know that your future self grows and evolves. Your future self knows more than you do right now. So always move forward. You know, it's like, can you imagine, this is just an image and a thought that came that Spirit brought to my mind, that came to my mind. Can you imagine what our world would look like if people only planted what would benefit them right now? We'd have no, I mean, apart from the big trees that were just naturally there from the beginning of time, we would have no big trees. We would have no forward planning. You know, it's like, oh, well, I'll be dead before this is fully grown, or I will have moved away before this fruit tree is fruiting. 5 years, I can't see where I'm going to be in 5 years, so I'm not going to plant the almond tree. Can you imagine if we thought like that, with no regard to the future self? The world would be lacking. We would be lacking. So know that every decision, every choice that you make it with love for your future self. There's a sense here, I feel pole number 3, that message is really going to guide you. It's really going to open your eyes to something. I kind of suddenly just feel really awake and really like, oh, I get it now. And this surge of energy, which is funny because Spirit's guiding me to the calmness card now. And the card says, the inner divine is the witness of all, remaining still and quiet even during intense turbulence. So take a deep breath and then say, quiet my mind, dear Lord. May your peaceful calm take over. It's almost like this energy comes out of calmness. There's a hummingbird on here. Hummingbirds can almost, like they can fly on the spot, like they can maintain one spot for long periods of time. But their wings are batting, I don't know how many, like 100 times a second or more. Don't quote me on that, I have no idea. But, you know, we almost can't see their wings for how quickly they actually are flapping. And there's this sense that this understanding of life, of the journey of your past self, your future self, where you are right now, and the merging, the blurring of the timeline. There's this centered feeling that I'm getting, this calm. But it's more than just being calm. It's almost like this it's peace, but it's this certainty. Thank you, Spirit. It's like this certainty comes over you. And I feel it shows you things that you've never seen before, never understood before. And this centeredness allows you to accept where you are now and to build on that. It allows you to shift those things that are in your life that fill a gap, but that don't really serve you, that aren't really aligned with you. That when you think of your future self, you probably don't really want those things in your life, or they have no meaning. The overall energy, and I feel you're being guided to this, I feel this is where you're headed, is regeneration, new growth and strength. The affirmation is, my body heals itself and remembers its original blueprint. And there's a sense, pole number 3, that you're leaving all the crap of the past, I'm just seeing all this as imprinting. Other people's beliefs, fears, ideals that you've taken on and made your own when they're not really. The programming. In so many ways, all the things that takes us away from our heart, that disconnects us from our true self, that stops us from seeing who we really are. And there's a lot going on in this hand. It's busy. It's the things that keep you distracted, pole number 3. They keep you distracted from who you really are and what you really want out of your life. You know, we have days sometimes where we are so busy and so unproductive, yet we feel we've run all day. It's that kind of energy. We fill our life with things that are of no importance, and therefore there's no space or time or energy left for the things that really are for us. We stay in broken relationships so much longer than we should. Sometimes we never leave. So we never know what could have come in that place. And that's not to say that we throw away our relationships the minute it gets hard. No. You know the difference, pole number 3. I know that you know and feel what I'm saying, and I know that you're at a place where you understand the difference. And the Magician, that's manifesting, that's creating on a very, very pure level. And it's kind of like pointing between these two, but I kind of feel like he's pointing to the plant now thrive always. I nourish, care for, and love my future self. And there's a sense with as above, so below. So if you create with a place of love for yourself, the ideas, the clarity, the way forward will be shown. You manifest that now. What you wish for your higher self, what you wish, sorry, Spirit's correcting me, what you wish for your future self, what you do with love for your future self, you receive in the now. You're changing your life, pole number 3, but it's not for anybody else, it's for you. You're realizing there's a new way of living. This Ace of Swords, so the aces for me are the gift from the universe. They're a minor arcana because it's you have to do something with that gift. So the major arcana is how Spirit, look at this, you've got 2 major arcana and then in the middle a gift from the universe. The major arcana is how what Spirit does, what part Spirit plays in the co-creation with us. The minor arcana is the part that we play in the co-creation with Spirit. and the co-creation of our life, of our journey. And the aces are a gift from the universe. They're in the minor arcana because you have to do something with it, or they're of no importance. They just fall away. Now the swords is intellect, it's intelligence, it's communications. It can also be your intuition. It's making clear decisions, having a clear mind. I also see it as wisdom sometimes. It can be the lack of wisdom, but it can also be wisdom, gained wisdom. And I feel that you are going to see this. I feel that spirit could be in this reading. It could be you watch this reading and 3 days later somebody says something to you and you're just like, oh my gosh. It just clicks. You might be meditating and suddenly this idea, this way of thinking, way of being comes to you and you're just like, oh wow. I feel that this gift is a way of seeing something so differently. And I'm getting the word radical. And I feel that this gift from the universe of clarity radically changes how you see yourself in this world, how you see the world, and how you view your past and your future. And we end with the Empress. The Empress is about abundance. She's planted and now she's harvesting. Plant now, thrive always. There's new things growing in your life. You've got regeneration, new growth and strength. Everything that is growing and changing in your life is strengthening your life. It's strengthening you. And I feel it's bringing you to a place, not of just abundance, but of feeling abundant, feeling okay, feeling that, yes, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. You probably don't have it all figured out. It's new growth. It's a new path. It's a whole new way of thinking and seeing yourself, pole number 3. So it's not a small thing. But I feel it changes everything. I feel it has a huge impact on you. And I feel it has a huge impact on things that are in your life. Because this Empress energy, she's not going to waste her time on things that are not for her. She doesn't understand the word lack. The Empress and the word lack are they can't coexist. The Empress sees opportunities everywhere, potential, abundance, gifts. She receives with open arms, with open hands, extended arms, and an open heart. But she doesn't take everything. Some things she'll leave, because some things she knows instinctively might be shiny, might look good, but it's not for me. It's not where I picture my future self. It's not what I want for my future self. Can you imagine? Now this is just the energy of the Empress. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. If you're listening right now, can you imagine this energy? Can you imagine embracing this energy? in the solitude and the calmness, because of the space that you create, you will see that. And you are manifesting a whole new future for yourself. And that's not a little thing. That's huge, pole number 3. I'm going to leave you with that beautiful message. Love and light, my friends. Stay open and be true. Be true to yourself always. Sending you love, light and blessings. Have a wonderful week. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 4. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for us or for you this week. We have positivity. Nice way to start. Make it God's. We have the 6 of Wands. We have the Knight of Wands. And we have strength. We have a shift in perspective. I see things with clarity and embrace positive change. I really see this. Look, positive change, and you've got the positivity card. I really see this in your reading. And we've got balance your worlds, big projects ahead. Time is on my side. I have all the space I need. Wow. So your overall energies is a shift in perspective and balance your worlds, big projects ahead. Balance your worlds. Balance your home life, balance your work life, balance your spirituality, balance your body, balance your mind. There's a sense here of bringing things into alignment will change your perspective, will change something in you. I see things with clarity and embrace positive change. There's definitely change in the air for you. And I'm really drawn to the word destiny on the hand. It's destined. There's this sense of not that it will happen regardless of how you feel, but almost like because of how you feel, different things will happen. So there's a shift. There's a shift in how you see yourself. There's a shift in how you see the world. And I'm very drawn to this is the left hand. And the left hand signifies our past. And so there's a sense of how do you view your past? Do you view it with gratitude and love for all that it taught you? For getting you to a place where you are now with more wisdom, with more awareness. So then you can create something better for your future self. Pole number 4, if you were drawn at all to pole number 3, I feel that there's messages in there for you as well. So go watch that. This shift, this positive change that's coming, I'm just seeing all these roots. Now the roots are not long, but there's so many of them. So I feel like it's really grounded in the now. It's really grounded in this world. It's not pies in the sky. It's real shifts that change I feel fundamentally who you are and how you see the world and how you see yourself and others. Balance your worlds, big projects ahead. Time is on my side. I have all the space I need. It's really interesting because looking at the tarot, I'm wondering if you, because the Six of Wands is, okay, I'm not going to explain the tarot just yet, because there's a message with the tarot that extends the message here, and then I'll go back in and explain the cards properly. But I feel like there's an end of something. And I feel like you're looking at that and going, I missed my chance. Oh, if I could go back, I would do this, because now it would make, I'd have time, I'd have space to do this particular thing. So there's this almost this fear with this Strength card and with this Knight of Wands that you missed your chance because you were too slow. A shift in perspective is required, because Spirit's saying you haven't at all. You haven't missed the boat. Your boat hasn't even come in yet. You've got time. And I get this feeling like you've got time to develop this new perspective. You've got time to develop this new way of thinking, this new way of being, these new ideas, these new dreams, these new people that have come into your life. You've got time. There's no rush. There's no need to be afraid. This Six of Wands is leaving the past. It's walking to the future. But in the now, it's celebrating the achievement. It's celebrating being where he is right now, in the now. And that's where you'll change your perception, your perspective. On this could be any area of your life, pole number 4. You've got positivity. If you can find even one thing to be grateful for, it will restore you to the light. Please, dear God, let me always feel gratitude for something, even a tiny thing in even the hardest situation. You're really seeing something, pole number 4, in a really negative light, in a light of lack, missed opportunity, mistakes, wrong turns, not being good enough, not being quick enough, not being brave enough. It's not the situation at all. Your opportunity hasn't passed you by. Your big project is ahead of you, not behind you. Now is your time for self-work, self-healing. Now is your time to be grateful, to see even the tiniest thing that you can feel gratitude for and positive about. You know, sometimes if we've been through something really challenging, sometimes the only thing we can be grateful for is that we are now on our knees and no longer flat on our face. Or we've come up off our knees and now we're standing. We were covered in mud and now we're shaking off the dirt. I feel that you're not seeing the strength, the courage, the dedication, the love that you've shown. And this is the major arcana, so this is how the universe, what the universe, the part the universe plays in co-creating with us. And I feel the past journey was to show you how strong you are, pole number 4, to show you your worth. You haven't conquered anything or anyone apart from your fears. Maybe your negative self-talk. All the ways you held yourself back. And when I say you conquered, Spirit's saying you overcame. You felt all that and you still moved forward. And you might feel that you're not moving forward at the moment, but you still are. There's this energy around you, pole number 4, that I feel that people are going to pick up on before you do. And it's this calm, resilient, really compassionate energy. Because when we have been through difficulties, great difficulties, it really increases our compassion. If we don't let it make us bitter and twisted and angry, if we can work through it and come out the other end, we are so much more loving, we are so much more compassionate. Even if we don't understand the other's path, the other's circumstance, we know what it can be like to be face down in the mud. And therefore, we don't want to throw more mud on that person. Make it God's. Release the idea of my. As soon as you start to say the money, the relationship, the job, freedom arrives. When there is no grasping, the right actions get shown. Free me from the prison of my, dear God. It's a really good way to be grateful for things. When we can view everything as energy, money's energy, other people are energy, our jobs are energy, our laughter is energy, our tears are energy, our anger is energy. Everything is energy around us, and it's always dancing, it always plays together. Sometimes it's more turbulent and it feels like it's fighting. Sometimes it's more graceful and it feels like a gentle hug or a dance. But when we take ownership of everything, when we make everything personal, this happened to me, as opposed to this happened. I mean, imagine if you could look at people that don't like you, and instead of saying, oh my gosh, they don't like me, why don't they like me? I'm good, I try so hard. What if you looked at them and said, oh, they're lacking love, they're lacking compassion. You can't give to another what you don't have yourself. Can you see how that shifts everything? A shift in perspective. You don't want to hurt that person, but you don't allow that person to hurt you, because you see where they are coming from. You see the lack. You don't have to point it out to them. You don't have to, but you can. It brings compassion. But you don't take on their energy, because you don't need to. It's not your energy. It's nothing that you need to fix. You don't need to fix yourself in any way for their perception to change, because you could probably pretty much guarantee that you could do anything under the sun, and if they have a view of the world as a bad world, an angry world, a world full of lack and hatred, you could do anything under the sun and they would not be able to appreciate. They don't have it in them. Those people don't deserve your judgment. They don't deserve you to change yourself for them either. And that's this strength. We're getting a lot of messages like that in the last few readings. Messages where when we stand so strong in our own guidance, in our own light, in our own understanding of ourself, we're powerful beyond belief. Because suddenly we see that the perception of others, that's their perspective. Nothing we can do about it. It makes no difference to us if we have a strong, solid perception of ourself and our worth. The perspective of others doesn't impact us. The Six of Wands is success after a war. So the card is after a war, but that's just what's the word I'm looking for? Figuratively speaking, thank you. This is success after hardship. And I feel that the hardship, although very real, it was a perception that you had that made it all the more difficult, all the more painful. And I feel this victory is in line with this shift in perspective. It will impact those around you as well. And you will no longer allow others around you to impact you as much as they did. The way these cards are formed or positioned, I feel like the strength and the Knight of Wands are sort of facing each other. So the Knight of Wands has this strength and courage and self-love, understands his self-worth, sees his self-worth. And he's going to merge with the you that you are just starting to love, that you're just starting to see. And this merging is this balancing of your worlds. Because the Knight of Wands is taking action on his passions and what drives him and his natural gifts and abilities, his calling, his purpose. He's taking action on that, and he's driven and he's excited. And it's almost like you see that now. You see the real you. You see the potential and the bravery and the self-worth and the courage that you've shown and that you have. Big projects ahead. And I love that there's a house in this image, because I feel like it changes your life. And changing our perspective, it changes our life, pole number 4. And once we change our perspective, it is so hard to go back and unknow. You can't. Once you see your self-worth, once you see your value and how you are of value in the world, when you see your uniqueness and how that is so important in the world, your perception changes. And that's when we are in a place of shining our light. We don't hide it anymore, because we don't fear the criticism, we don't fear the judgment. We are just, well, here I am. And I feel that's your journey. And it's not a journey of a week, but I feel this week is really going to impact your pole number 4. It's really the opening up. And I feel like it's going to show you all the potential that is actually in front of you, that probably has been in front of you for a while, but you never saw. Maybe the potential and the opportunities that you think you missed out on because time is on my side. I have all the space I need. Maybe you thought there was lack in some way. You didn't have the resources to start a project. You didn't have the time or the energy or the know-how. You felt that the time had passed. No, it's in front of you, my friends. I'm going to leave you with those messages, pole number 4. Love and light, sending you so many blessings. Let your light shine through, my friends. It's the beacon that guides us to the places and the people that are meant to be with us. Have a lovely week, pole number 4. See you next time. Bye-bye.